Men have got to stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up, and throughout the world today.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hi, y'all. I can't get my computer to work here. Look like it's not turned on or something. Let's see. No, it doesn't seem to be on. Is it on? Oh, it wasn't turned on, right? Okay, they're working on it. Hi, y'all. You can get involved by calling 888-773-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. A brand new biblical question. I have it. And it's another doozy. Thank you, Nick. It's a doozy. Get ready. Which do you love more? Your true life or your false life? Which do you love more? Your true life or your false life? Isn't that an amazing question? Yes, Jesse, that is a doozy. And again, these questions are put here to encourage you, as I do for myself, to start paying attention to you. You and no one else as an adult is responsible for your life. Only you. No community is responsible. No government. No, as an adult, father or mother. No, nothing. Only you. And if you take control of your own life, you will literally live an amazing life right here in this evil, nasty, dirty world, meaning the people of the world. You can be a monster in it, but not of it. Really, it'll be amazing. But you got to take responsibility. And the last thing that most human beings want is to take responsibility, be responsible for their own life. I have a soundbite coming up, hopefully we'll get to it today, where the blacks, not all but most, not all, are now blaming white people for their health wellness. And I told you a long time ago that black people really believe that white people are superior. They think that the reason they're sick and not healthy is because of white people, racism. Now, you know you got to have power to do something like that, right? They literally believe that white people are superior to them. That's why they call white people white supremacy. Because if you didn't believe they had authority over you, why would you keep reminding yourself that they do? Amazing, huh? But anyway, that's why these questions are here, and to encourage you to start working on you. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed there on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're busy this morning, traveling or working out or trying to cross our borders not even trying, just walking across or taking a train across or whatever. You can be listening to the show. You can podcast and all that good stuff if you're not able to watch it. But you could be listening by calling the listen line at on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And follow us all on social media, all that good stuff. JLP Talk on X and on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right. It is. Oh, and to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. buymeacoffee.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. All right. So believe it or not, it's the first Thursday of the month of the year of 2024. And for those who don't know, every Thursday we take all calls, but we pay a lot of attention to the Bible Thumpers on Thursdays. Every Thursday is. This is Trump. This is Black Jesus. And this is the Flat Earther. Somebody said that to Hake. Every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday. Bible Thumper!
All right, brother. Are you ready? He's drunk as a badger. Go ahead. Let that Holy Ghost language come up out of you. Go ahead.
He's on fire. Bible Thumper. White people, when white people were strong in the good old days, when boys were boys and men were men, white people didn't carry on like that. They were not all emotional like that. But as more they take on the black ways, they become emotional now. I see sometimes I see these commercials on TV, and even on the internet sometimes, but especially on TV. Everybody and their mama dancing now in commercials. White people dancing, everybody dancing. And the reason for it is that they have, by way of affirmative action, they're taking out the strong white people, put in the weak along with the blacks, and now they're catering to the blacks in all these commercials. Not all, but most. Everybody dancing. I'm like, what the? What a mess.
What the?
What a mess. It is a spiritual battle, right? A battle of good and evil. And you do become like what you hate. And white people kind of resenting the blacks now because they're fed up with them. Everything the whites do, it doesn't seem to satisfy the blacks. They want more and more and more. But that's what happens when you spoil people, like spoiling children. And the more you spoil your children, the worse they get. The more they want and require of you. And that's what the blacks are doing to the whites. You have spoiled them and not correct them. You have given them free stuff, lowered the standards of America, and they're just getting worse. You have presented yourself along with the lie that you are the enemy of black people, and you're not, but you have pretended that you are, and they are getting worse. And now they are attacking white people everywhere. Everywhere. And they're attacking the men and the females, the males and females of the white world. It's amazing to see it, but I understand evil. And human beings are evil. until they overcome, until their nature changes. I don't care who it is, they're evil. Look around you. Look at yourself and look around you. You'll see. Nothing but evil. It's not love. It's crazy, but I understand it's hell on earth. It is the Old Testament outside of you, inside of others in this world. There was some of you may be aware of this because I believe it's all over the internet now. I know I saw it on the news. They are attacking the blacks, not all but most, are attacking even the judges in the courthouse now because they've been told that it's racism to put you in jail. It's racism for you to be in jail. And then they got all these women taking over, which is unfortunately, because it's not going to help the situation at all. If anything, it's going to encourage the situation even more so. Think about this. Smoke on this. Men and women already hate their mothers, right? They can't handle the evil that comes through their mother. Even when the mother tries to correct them, it traumatizes the children. And so that's why you need a father there, because a different love, a real love, comes through the father. And that love corrects. It doesn't traumatize. And boys and girls can handle that because it is love. But just in America today, they're putting women in control of the homes and everything, right? So if you hate your mother already or grandmother, in the cases of a lot of black people because they're raised by their grandmother, but if you hate your mother already, how is it that you're expected to go to school, hear from a female teacher, and be okay with it? Hear from a female politician and be okay with it? Hear from a female boss and be okay with it? Hear from a female judge and be okay with it? If you already hate the spirit of the female, what makes you think it's going to work outside of the home? When male judges were in control, you didn't see this kind of stuff happening. When father was in control of the home, of his wife and the home and the children, you didn't see this kind of stuff happening. When men were in control of the schools, you didn't see these things happening. That's happening in schools now. Teachers are getting beat up every day. ABC has reported that a Nevada judge was attacked Wednesday by a defendant who leaped over the judge's bench, sparking a bloody brawl. Watch this from ABC.
Chaos erupts in a Las Vegas courtroom.
What the?
As a man about to be sentenced attacks the judge. Take another look in slow motion as the man flies right over the bench and tackles the judge to the ground. It all began earlier during a hearing for 30-year-old Deobra Redden. He's a 3-time felon, now facing a charge of battery on a protected person, inflicting great bodily harm. His attorney is seen here asking the judge for probation instead of a prison sentence. But Judge Mary Kay Holtis has other thoughts.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court...
What the? Amazing. What the? White people, y'all don't have a chance anymore. It's over. Sorry. You have given into fear, and this is what you're getting. And black people have been encouraged to hate you and to blame you for their failure in life, their inability. And this is what you're now getting. I've never seen anyone jump across the bench, over the bench, and attack the judge. But she's like, no, I'm not going to let him get away with this. We got to have a little more taste or something. The judge's like, oh, I think it's time he gets a taste of something else. She was right about that. If he's guilty of all the crimes and all that, he need to be in prison. But she's white. She can't do that now. Blacks have been trained that rather than listen to the white people, attack them. And so when the judge got up from getting beat up, did she say, oh, I changed my mind? I ain't going to give you no taste of anything, buddy. You black. You black. I wonder if that helped this case at all. What it's spiritual, folks. It is spiritual. You must return to the Father. Ain't no way around it. Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. When I'm saying sorry, I mean that I don't feel sorry. I'm telling you, it's sorry for you if you think there's another way around your hell, your anger, your mess. You got to overcome it. It's the wrong nature. I've never seen that before. Jumped across the bench. This is what the blacks do when the cops stop them. They get a cop's attitude. They overreact. And the cop gets blamed for it. What this old world coming to, things just ain't the same. It's gone. And I'm amazed at, because it wasn't this way in the good old days, I want you to know that, how willing that most, not all, but most blacks are willing and happy to be used for destruction in America and around the world. They know that they are being used to destroy. Not only from within are they being used, but from without as well. By other black people telling them, oh, to be mad at white people. Everything is racist. You're not responsible for yourself at all. White people need to lower the standard of life so they can come down to your level and destroy America, destroy the family and everything. It's crazy how the blacks fight to keep that going. It's interesting that I understand it though. I understand it. So it's New Year's 2024. Get ready. It's going to be an amazing ride this year. I don't know what, but it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Do you have fear? This is Bible Thumping Thursday. Do you have fear? Even if you don't want to say it out loud so others can hear it, you should admit it to yourself. Because the one thing I know for sure and without a doubt, that everyone who has anger has fear. And I don't mean fear of, you're going down into the hood, you got to protect yourself. I don't mean that. I don't mean practical fear. I mean like fear that lives in you, that makes you afraid of others, makes you afraid to deal with life and you're uncomfortable and stuff like that. Inwardly, do you have it? And you're never going to overcome it until you admit that it's there. You got to admit that it's there, and then you start to overcome it. A YouTuber went out and asked that question, what is your biggest fear? Watch this from Dr. Robin Wallace. Watch this.
What is your biggest fear?
Not making it in life with the things I wanted to do.
Deep water that I can't see the bottom of, and like sharks specifically.
My biggest fear is probably like dying.
I guess dying.
I would say the same thing. Like death is pretty scary. Like I don't like to think about it.
I guess I would be afraid of like leaving people behind.
No. I mean, I think dying is a part of life. So when death comes, it'll come, and you just have to live life to its fullest, right?
I'm not. It is what it is. If life happens, it happens. My husband and I actually had this conversation a couple days ago that when we get old enough to the point that we're not functioning anymore, I would prefer to be happily killed or whatever the right, euthanized, instead of being held on.
Amazing. What is your fear? What is your fear? What's your biggest fear, Hassan?
I honestly don't have any fear.
You have no fear?
I really don't.
Really?
I know that's like, but I really don't.
Really? You know that's like what?
Well, it just feels like, coy to say that right now after you just did that whole thing, but it's true. So, I think my if I do have any fear, it's that I almost have too much of no fear, if that's possible.
You said if you have any fear, you have too much of no fear?
Yeah, like sometimes I get worried that I'm like too fearless.
And where did your fear go to? How did you overcome it?
That's a good question. I think by going towards it. Like we talk about the buffalo going into the storm.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Yeah, like anything in my life that ever made me feel away, I always went towards it instead of running from it.
Oh, yeah?
I just innately knew that like that was the best way to get over it, was to just address it.
And you've been that way all your life?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay. And are you ready to let that dog go?
See, now that could be a fear. You always find it. That's it.
See there?
Just the thought of Sandy going away.
When you went on vacation, you took that dog on the airplane with you?
Oh, yeah.
Inside the plane, or you left him on the bottom?
No, they don't. I don't think they do that anymore.
Oh, they don't do it at all?
Well, because a French bulldog suffocated.
Nice.
Under the plane. So I think they got some sort of lawsuit, and now that's I think. And
now we got to pay the price for that.
Yeah, now you got to sit next to the dogs.
I'm never sitting next to a dog. It ain't gonna happen. Amazing.
Amazing.
Fear. If you don't have love, you have fear. One of the ways to know that you don't have love, but not the only way, is that you have fear. There is no fear in love, and there is no love in fear. Isn't that amazing? Bible thumping Thursday, 1 John 4 says, 4 verses 18, says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. So if you have fear, you don't have love. And love is not an emotional thing. Love is a dispassionate thing. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment. Lord, no, that's true. Don't you feel yourself being punished with fear when you have fear? You're afraid or shy, can't go into the crowded room on your own. You're afraid and shy when you go to a dance or party. You can't stand alone. You got to find somebody to stand with. When you have fear, isn't it hard to sleep at night? Does it feel painful on the inside of your mind and body when you have fear? You're punishing yourself. Fear has to do with punishment. And whoever has fear, and whoever fear has not been perfect in love. There is a perfect love. It doesn't come from mama. It doesn't come from another human being. You cannot get it from another human being. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fear has not been perfect in love. You got to work on you, folks, and you can. Faith without works is dead. And work doesn't mean go feed the homeless. It doesn't mean you got to be reading the Bible all the time. Nothing wrong with reading the Bible, but don't read it to remember. You cannot know God by way of the intellect. You cannot know God by way of the mind, of thoughts. The intellect hates God, and it will never let you know God. So you can't read the Bible and know God. You can't read the Word and know God. You can't read your scriptures and know God. Isn't that amazing? But the Christian read, I gotta read my Bible. I've been reading my Bible at 6 o'clock every evening. I gotta read my Bible. I gotta read the Word. Never knowing God. Never knowing God. You know about Him. You have ideas about Him, and that's all it is. Ideas. They get to nowhere, but keep you in hell. It keeps you in hell. And you suffer. And then you pass your suffering on to others. And if they're not over the fallen state, then they suffer more. This is hell on earth. This is what hell is like forever and ever. Amen. If you drop your body in the way that you're living with fear and unforgiveness, you're stuck. But if you drop your body, you die. You leave your body, and you have forgiven, and you've overcome fear. You're free for eternity. 888-77-53773. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, He will fight the battle for you. And He will fight it without, because He will show you how to deal with it. and you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Tonight is the first Thursday of the month, right, today? And it's a men's forum at 7 p.m. tonight. So Hake is not here today. He's out again. He'll be back soon. As a result, we have Joel Friday and my producer, Sean, sitting in for Hake today at 9 a.m. Joel Friday TV. At 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. They're going to sit in for him. My producer doing it, sitting in for the first time. That's going to be interesting. Sean. And then at 12 noon, at 11, Joel Friday TV. Joel Friday TV this year is Monday through Thursday now at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hold on to what? Oh. Thanks. I'll read a note. Joel Friday TV is at 11 now, Monday through Thursday. Amazing, huh? And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. Anchor Baby, you can't hide. At 12 noon. And he's on fire. Believe me, you don't want to miss it. Amazing. We're going to get to your supers and all that in a minute. I want to go to the busy phones. Let me go to James, a first-time caller out of North Carolina. James, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Heard around the world.
By everybody. And their mama.
And their mama. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Hey, Jesse, I very much respect your view on manhood and family. I do have questions on some of your biblical views.
Okay.
Two that come to mind. The first one was free will. Do you think you have a free will?
No. I know I don't. I don't think I do. I know for sure that I don't.
So I know you worked on yourself throughout the years, and you consider yourself to be born again and perfect, or at least close to perfection. Was that another force changing you, or was that not you putting the work in?
It was another force changing me.
Okay. So how could I? Why do you encourage others to put the work in if there's nothing they can do?
Meaning, when I say put the work in, it's to start living from within by watching what's going on with you on the inside. The kingdom of heaven is within, and when you keep an eye on what's going on inside of you, the kingdom will appear. Because what you're going to discover, if you really want to overcome, what you will discover is that you're nothing like you thought you were. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You've been lied to by your parents and the world around you, and you've been living in hell, calling it heaven. But so when you put the work in, all you're doing is watching what's going on within yourself. And the more you watch, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the more you let go. You completely give up and just live.
So I think, and I agree with that, but I think, and I listening to you for a lot of years, I think your phrases, I think your word selection throws people off. I agree with the premise of what you're saying, but that doesn't mean we don't have a free will.
Do you believe you have one?
Before I answer that, I need to know the definition, because I think that's the problem. I think you're defining free will as something that it's not really is. Can I have a free will means we're being controlled by a predestined, our story's already written. It's predestined. We have no control. We just here to live out the story. I don't think you believe that. I think you believe that we are victims of sin and imperfection, and so we can't control a lot of things, so we don't have a free will that way.
You think that's what I mean?
Yeah, I think you believe we can make changes and better ourselves.
I know that life has already been laid out for us.
You do?
And all we have to do is live it.
That's what you believe?
Nothing is required.
Oh, that's what you believe?
Right.
I didn't know that. See, now I'm learning something. So,
do you believe you have a free will?
Absolutely.
And why do you believe you have a free will?
Because my Creator told me and showed me.
What Creator?
My God, my Creator.
What did He show you and tell you?
He told me from past events that humans that walk this earth had a free will. He asked the Israelites, what God do you choose to follow? Make that decision. Either follow me or follow them. So he wouldn't have told them that if they didn't have a free will.
He told you that, or the Israelites?
No, I said he told humans before I came to this earth. So
I see what you're saying. Okay, I got
Jesus had a free will. He didn't come here and die for us just because he was a robot. If that's the case, then the sacrifice doesn't really mean that much, does it?
Well, will yourself to never have another negative thought.
Well, that's what I mean, Jess. I think I agree with that. We are very limited.
Well, will your nature from evil to good?
I can't.
Will yourself to have perfect peace?
See, this is it. This is the piece that I think we agree with, but we're using the wrong term.
But if you have a free will, why can't you will yourself to do all of those things?
My free will allows me to believe in God and follow Christ. Under that arrangement, I can now have perfection under that clause, so to speak.
What?
But under that arrangement of believing in God and following Christ, I can now walk into perfection. I can now work on perfection. But without it, I can't will myself to do anything.
But
so I think you're right.
When you say work on perfection, how do you do that?
In other words, you said it took you 30 years, right? 17 years, something like that? You had to work on it. It just went overnight.
But
right?
What do you mean when you say work on it, James? You might be right. I just want to understand you.
Well, it's a process, right? Like, you know.
What do you mean when you say you work on it by believing in God?
So belief is faith, right? So faith takes years. It takes a long time to say, I'm going to believe and trust that God is going to help me get a better job. I'm not going to take a job from Planned Parenthood. I believe he's going to give me a better job. That's faith. So once you get through that obstacle, now you can get to another obstacle, and it takes years to build that up to get to that perfect state. So I believe without that, you cannot will yourself to do anything. You're just a slave to Satan, a slave to imperfection. But with Christ and belief in God, I think you can.
But you're wrong.
Why am I wrong?
Because there's no such thing as believing in God.
Well, I know what you're saying, and again, those are words. See, I think you're a word guy.
What do you mean?
I think we believe the same thing. We say it different. But I think I may be saying it incorrect. You may be right, but we were kind of raised to say believe in God. But I know what you mean.
What do I mean?
You can't believe in God. In other words, that's kind of too basic. You have to experience God, I think is what you mean. You can't just believe in God. A lot of people believe in God, but they go out every day and do crazy things that don't reflect that they believe in God.
Nobody believes in God.
Yeah, they say they do.
But no one does.
But nobody does, right.
But,
I understand what you're saying.
But what am I saying?
I think you mean God has to be in you, meaning by your works. It's not, you can't just, you can't believe in God. He's not that simple. It has to be by your lifestyle. Your works dictate whether God knows you and whether he's using you.
No, that's not what I mean.
Oh, okay.
How can you read all this stuff into what I mean?
Say it again, Jeff.
Why are you saying all these different things that I mean when it's not what I mean at all?
Oh, I could be wrong.
Right.
Educate me, brother.
Have you are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Yes, sir. And like I said, I believe in all your beliefs about family and manhood. I've done everything. It's just only.
But you believe you have a free will, and it's just absolutely not true at all.
Well, I've never experienced not having a free will.
Do you want for anything?
Do I want for anything?
Yeah.
God's approval.
Why do you want his approval?
Because I believe he's provided all good things for me. And just like an earthly father that has provided good things for his son, you want to make your dad proud. You want his approval. You want him to smile on you.
But he doesn't want you to want that. He doesn't want your approval for anything.
No, I want his approval.
He doesn't want you to want his approval for anything.
Why not?
Why did he need to want that from you?
Well, his son needed it. When his son got baptized, he said, "This is my son, the beloved."
But why does he need you to want his approval?
Because if his son, who was perfect, needed it, why shouldn't I need it?
What do you mean? Jesus didn't need God's approval. He didn't want God to want his approval.
Maybe he didn't need it, but
he didn't even want it.
God saw he needed it, and he gave it to him.
No, man. Where you get all that from?
I can give you the Bible verse and scriptures, right in the scriptures, Jesse.
Let me hear it.
The beloved, who I'm approved.
I'm sorry?
Hello? The beloved whom I've approved.
Who he has approved?
Yeah, after Jesus came out the water when he got baptized.
Read to me where Jesus wanted God's approval.
Wanted or got? I didn't say he wanted it. I said God provided for him, so why shouldn't I ask for that same approval?
God provided what?
Provided Jesus with approval. This is my son, who I have approved, the beloved.
And what does approve mean?
In other words, I'm proud. I'm proud of what he did today. I approve him, so believe in him.
You bring God down to a evil mentality way of thinking.
What's evil about approving your son? Your son just came to earth willingly, died for humankind. It's evil to say that you approve what he did?
But God doesn't think the way you think about approval.
I know. I would never say he does. I'm just saying we were made in his image, so we can think like God. Don't you agree?
No.
So what does he mean when he says, let's make them in our image? Jesus said that.
What do you mean by you can think like him?
In other words, how he expresses himself in the scriptures, where he says, this is my son, the beloved, whom I approve, after Jesus got baptized. That says to me that God looks down on us. He sees what we do. When we do wrong, he sees it. When we do good,
but what do you mean by you can think like him?
In other words, I can relate. I can look at the scriptures and see how he thinks, and I can think like God.
No, you can't.
I know I can't.
At all.
I know I would never be able to measure up, but I have that ability to read and understand that way.
No, you don't.
So the scripture's just a mystery? We can't understand it?
No.
Oh. So what's the purpose?
is to find the kingdom of heaven. It's a roadmap. That's all it is.
Yeah, I believe that. I agree.
But then why you
don't
putting
think-
all this other stuff into it then if you believe that?
I'm just saying, if God approved Jesus for dying for humankind, coming to earth and doing his will, why is it wrong for me to say I would like God's approval for me and what I do?
But
why is that wrong?
Approval what? I mean, it's
when I die, Jesse, when I'm on my deathbed, I want to be able to say, God, I hope I did your will. Is that wrong?
Why do you want to say that?
Because that's the purpose of my life. My life is not to please myself or others. It's to please God.
How's that?
To do my very best to represent him.
Your purpose is not to please God. God doesn't need you to please him.
Again, we're using words, so that's the best way I can kind of describe it. I know what you mean.
What do I mean?
I'm just a.
What do I mean?
In other words, who am I to think that God needs me? I see what you mean. It's a little.
That's not what I mean.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you meant.
All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything.
What do you mean by God doesn't need my approval?
Why does he need it? Just think about it. Even in a fallen state, that doesn't make sense.
God doesn't need anything from me.
But why
I'm
you
saying,
saying?
I'm saying I want his approval. I'm not saying he needs it.
You want his approval of what?
That he approves of the way I'm living. That he approves of my lifestyle. That he approves of my works. If I don't have that, then what's the point?
Well, you wasting your time thinking you're going to get that. That ain't going to never happen.
Well, what's the point of doing good if we don't want God to say or think, at least look down and say, well, job well done. What's the point of all this?
Because the point is there's no such thing as human beings doing good.
So what's the point, Jesse? Why do you advocate?
And to overcome evil.
So what? What's the problem with evil then if God doesn't care? You're painting it like he doesn't even care. He doesn't want it. He doesn't care. So what's the point? I'm trying to understand why.
The point of life is for you to overcome evil.
I don't get it.
Why not?
I don't get it. You're making this seem like God is a person that has no interest in humans.
He died, but not in a way that you can ever think or imagine. You can't. There's nothing in you that can think the way he sees humans.
Why do you say that?
It doesn't exist in your mind.
So the scriptures don't talk about him feeling hurt to his heart when people in the past disobeyed him?
What?
The scriptures don't talk about him being hurt when humans disobeyed him?
I don't know what you mean.
There's scriptures that say God was hurt to his heart. His heart was hurt when people disobeyed him in the past.
It may be in there, but where is that? I've never seen that.
Well, you don't read the Bible.
You think that God's heart is hurt because people don't obey him?
That's stated so many times in the Bible. Just I can't even tell you how many times that's in the Bible.
So you believe that God's heart is hurt when people don't obey him?
Yes.
And so if his heart was hurting because people don't obey him, all you have to do is he would just change your heart.
No.
So why would he change? If he's so hurt, if he's so hurt by it, why does he change your heart?
Jesse, we're not robots. If we were robots, you're making it seem like everything is written, predestined. We're just robots living this thing out. It doesn't work that way.
What does predestined mean?
You said it's already written. It's already determined. Our life is already determined. That's predestined. That's not right.
Predestined mean that your life is already laid out.
Right.
And you don't believe that your life is already laid out.
No. So if that's the case, then God created Adam and Eve to sin?
Why don't
it was already laid out? They didn't have a choice?
Why don't you believe that your life is already laid out? And you say you believe in God.
Because if my life was laid out, then the ransom sacrifice of Christ means nothing.
What does that mean, a ransom sacrifice?
When Jesus came to earth, why did he die for me? For my sins?
What does that mean, a ransom sacrifice? I don't know what you mean.
In other words, a sacrifice. Jesus gave me what Adam lost. So Adam was a perfect man. He died. Out of free will, he chose to follow Satan.
No, all that is not true.
So he was a robot? God made him to follow Satan? Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean by
he chose
robot?
to. You're saying...
Jesus never followed Satan.
No. Adam chose...
Adam never followed Satan.
He chose to follow Satan by listening to his wife. Yes, he did.
Amazing. Let me tell you this, James. It's a very interesting call. I do appreciate the time running out. And I got so many calls I want to get to.
One more quick one, Judge. I'm not going to... It's not a question. I just want to leave you with something. Let it marinate. Maybe we can pick up next time.
Okay.
I remember you said something about 2 weeks ago. You said that Jesus didn't tell us how to pray.
Okay.
Is that correct?
No.
He never told us how to pray?
He did tell us.
So what is your thoughts on...
He did the Lord's Prayer thing.
Huh?
If you can you can hear. He did. He did the Lord's Prayer. They said, "Well, how do I pray?" And he gave them the Lord's Prayer, and that's what the silent prayer is all about.
No,
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Well, it may be, but you said we shouldn't ask for forgiveness. That's not correct.
What?
You said we should not ask for forgiveness.
What?
Then you said we shouldn't ask for forgiveness?
From other human beings?
No, from God.
What, does God tell you to ask for forgiveness?
That's in the Lord. Jesus told us to pray that way.
Did he tell you to ask for forgiveness?
Yes.
Okay. But listen, James, call me again. I'll smoke on that.
Forgive us of our debts as we have also forgiven our debtors.
I'll smoke on that. Thank you, buddy.
Amazing.
Happy New Year. Super chat.
Super chats.
Amazing this hour going by.
Amazing show so far.
Are you ready for Super Chat?
Oh, we're ready. Good morning,
so
Super Chatters.
The anchor baby is sitting there for Hake with the hate news and the Super Chats and all that.
Exactly. Welcome. We're going to keep going with some from yesterday. Got some coffees from Rocky the Mexican, or the Mexican. Hi, Grandpa Jesse. He blah. Question. Is God's will and the Word of God the same?
Is God's will and the Word of God? I don't understand the question.
Maybe the rest of this may help. And if so, the life of Christ was the full of... And if so, the life of Christ was the full expression of God's will for us, is it?
I don't even understand the question at all.
He says, gracias, señores, alpha.
I appreciate the question, though, and the Super Chat. But if you want to make it clearer, call me. 888-7753. 773. It may be a good question. I just don't understand. I'm black and slow. What? Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. Jesse, what is your view on nepotism? You know what? This is a long one, and he has a question and he wants to ask you. I think we got to leave it for after.
I never met nepotism.
Nepotism? He's asking us, your experts, to explain it for you.
Is that a YouTuber?
No. It's a word. It means something. And he wants us to explain it to you, and then you tell us if it's okay.
Oh, okay. Let me take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll finish the Super Chats, at least catch up with them, and then back to your calls. 88, there's one line open. 888-7753. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married, and the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good, or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
Good morning. Some Nick news coming at you. Hake out sick, but you got Nick. Don't worry. Don't fret. We still got news coming at you. Look, Ohio. Look, let me tell you first here. The future of America is often left dying on an operating table, sometimes in a nondescript toilet in Ohio. And I mean America, so that means blacks and whites. Yeah, blacks, their future too is often left on an operating table. And like I said, sometimes in a toilet in Ohio, a law in Ohio requiring fetal remains to be buried or cremated draws praise and rebuke. The decision will force women or clinics to choose how remains are handled after a surgical abortion. Abortion providers who don't comply could face jail and a fine. This was a law. This is from 2021. This same law is in the center of this story with Brittany Watts, black woman in Ohio. This very same law could affect women who have miscarriages. Story is, police charged Brittany Watts with abuse of a corpse after she miscarried her fetus at home and allegedly attempted to flush it down the toilet. As Ohio voters debated whether or not to enshrine abortion rights, Watts went to the hospital with bleeding down there, and her water had broken prematurely at 21 weeks and 5 days. Watts' lawyer said doctors debated for 8 hours whether or not to give her an abortion, since Ohio bans the procedure after 22 weeks. Imagine that, 21 to 22. She eventually went home where she miscarried. Watts later returned to the hospital for treatment, where doctors alerted the police about her miscarriage and the need to locate the fetus. Criminal charges ensued. Watts has pleaded not guilty. As the jury deliberates, Watts' lawyer questions whether a fetus can be defined as a corpse if it never took a breath. Wow. This debate, the nitpicking of where life begins while life is dying. Here, the life of Americans on a table or a toilet. Law professors reportedly said the prosecution's biggest challenge is the 1996 law's vagueness in language. Still, Watts could face up to a year in prison. More than 4,000 healthcare workers and community leaders have signed a letter urging authorities to drop the unwarranted charge. A little bit of info from the skim there. It's been almost 2 years since the Supreme Court overruled Roe v. Wade, spurring more than a dozen states to criminalize getting an abortion. Now Watts' case is putting a spotlight on how laws can put pregnant people's lives at risk by discouraging them from seeking care. That's a funny way of putting it. The skim, pregnant people, you mean women? The same women who are holding the future of America hostage and killing children. It seems like maybe there's a even smaller minority group that's more at danger. The skim, and that is the children in America. Sometimes, more often than not, in the womb. Horrible. Not to be so dark. But you know what else is dark? Jeffrey Epstein. Those documents came out apparently. Court unsealed hundreds of court documents connected to the sex offender. The documents are part of the 2017 settlement for Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever. Social media has been speculating about what or who could be named. Yeah, social media is definitely speculating. Everyone's talking about Stephen Hawking all of a sudden. That's just a meme, right? Stephen Hawking's involvement with the Epstein stuff. Those are just memes I'm seeing, right? The skim is also wondering. Anyways, still, there doesn't seem to be any bombshell revelations. Instead, the docs provided more insight into Epstein's relationship with former presidents Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, as well as Prince Andrew and others. They are not accused of any wrongdoing in the documents. Yeah, because if there was, trust me, they would have put that out there right away on Donald Trump. Let's be real. That would have been the first thing they did. Not accused of any wrongdoing. The identities of some Epstein accusers were also revealed, but many of those names were already known from previous media reporting. The court could release more in the future. So, I guess remains to be seen on all that. Look, we got Men's Forum today, rebuildingtheman.com if you need more info on everything we're doing. Jesse Lee Peterson, Bible Thumper Thursday, Hour 2.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. And you can be listening to the show if you're too busy to sit and watch it right now. I know a lot of people podcast because they were not aware that they can listen to the show while they're doing what they're doing. And we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. Everybody and their mama. But you can be listening if you are not able to watch it live. You can podcast by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500 on your iPhone or iPad. And don't forget to follow us on social media, like, ring the bell, do all that good stuff. Go over to cozy.tv/JLP Talk and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram, other ways. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. It is Thursday. It is every Thursday. Is Bible Thumper Thursday. Bible Thumper!
Get him up!
He's still there
Hold him
now?
up. Let that Holy Ghost language come up out of you. Do it now.
Satan's busy.
Somebody shouting up in here.
Carrying on like females. What the? Amazing. Amazing. But that's what's happening in the world. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. While Nick is coming in so we can catch up on the super chats there, I want to show you a sad story. I mean, sad in that it's amazing. It is Bible Thumping Thursday, right? I have told you for the last 35 years, 30-something years, that in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must forgive. Even in the Word, it says that before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive. Unforgiveness is the nature of evil, the spirit, the wickedness, the nature of evil. And there's not one human being walking this earth who has not forgiven that have peace. Not one. Because of the nature of evil. And you're not going to enter into the nature of good with the nature of evil. It just ain't going to happen. That's why God said, before you enter into the kingdom. And so I've been telling you, go and forgive your mama, because most people don't realize you have to forgive your mama. I was talking to someone yesterday on the phone whom I've never met, and she lives in New York. Good morning. And we were talking about some business. And we got on the subject of forgiving and forgiving your mother, right? And I mentioned to her that most people don't know you have to forgive mama. They're afraid of her. She's like, wow, that's so interesting. We talked about it a little bit more. I got to go do that with my mama. I just have to do it. We've had a rough time during the Christmas season here, and we're just not talking and stuff. Now I understand I need to forgive her. You got to forgive your mama and your daddy in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And in Luke 6:37, it says, this is so deep and so beautiful, just beautiful and so deep and so sweet. Luke 6:37 says, do not judge, and you will not be judged. Angry people judge, and they're being judged from within. When you hear someone say, when you hear the scripture says, do not judge, and you will not be judged, right away your mind tell you, oh, if you don't judge someone, then people out there are not going to judge you. That's not what it means. It means that what you're doing to others, you're really doing it to yourself. Everyone who judges have no peace because you're being judged from within. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. That's so deep. It's just so deep. But you got to be born again to understand that. Meaning that you have to be born of the new nature. It goes on to say, forgive, and you will be forgiven. And it all takes place inside of you. Whatever you do on the inside to others, even if you don't say it out loud to them, you're doing it to yourself. It's amazing. But the devil tell you, because you believe the thoughts of evil, thinking that they're your thoughts, well, it means this, and it means that. It means that outside thing. No, it doesn't. It means what you're doing to others, you're doing it to yourself, within yourself. And there are some people who don't believe in forgiveness. I understand it. So limit your hell. Really. Some people think unforgiveness, I ain't gonna do that. I need my anger to take action. I need anger to motivate me. I need anger, they say. There are literally people who do not, most people don't, to be honest with you. They don't believe in forgiveness. Even when they say it, they don't believe it. They're just playing. There are some people who do not believe in forgiveness. There's this, I guess, a YouTuber. This is from wildtruth.net. Daniel Mackler is a musician, filmmaker, YouTuber, and writer who also worked for 10 years as a psychotherapist. Think about that. A psycho going to a psycho. He worked as a psychotherapist in New York, where Daniel Mackler apparently does not believe in forgiveness. Watch this.
This morning, I was drinking my cup of tea, and on the tag on the tea bag, there's always a little saying, a little spiritual saying. And this morning, I did not like the saying. It said, forgiveness is an act of consciousness. And I thought, ugh, it made me want to, well, throw away the tea, let's put it that way. And why would I say such a thing? Everybody loves forgiveness. It's such a kind thing to do. It's a mature thing to do. It's a conscious thing to do. People from time to time tell me, I need to forgive. You need to forgive your parents. And I don't agree. Actually, what I have found in my life is that not forgiving my parents is the thing that saved my life.
Amazing. He thinks that his life is saved by not forgiving. What life is he talking about? Amazing, huh?
He talks like an angry person.
I know.
He's all like, he just talks like an angry person.
And doesn't even see it. Here's Daniel talking about his parents. Watch this from Daniel Mackler.
They did a lot of crazy and horrible and unethical things to me, yet I needed them. I was dependent on them. I was emotionally dependent on them. I was financially dependent upon them. So I had to forgive them. I spent my childhood, my teen years, forgiving my parents because I had to. And this is a big part of why I became traumatized. People out in the world sometimes tell me, oh, you need to forgive your parents. They're not saying forgive your parents. What they're saying is dissociate. They're saying split off your feelings. They're saying push your feelings down, bury them, go into denial, even become spiritual. Oh, it's a spiritually positive thing. You're a brave person to forgive. No, you're not a brave person to forgive. You're a brave person not to forgive. I have to empathize with me. I have to feel my own feelings. And that's been the only thing that's helped me grow.
Amazing. Poor Daniel Mackler. Don't blame him. He born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Quote unquote. That is so unfortunate, but I understand it. What do you think about that?
It's like even pouring more out of him in the second clip.
Yeah.
It's just, and you didn't tell me spiritual. Like he clearly's got a problem with spiritual. He's like, it's written all over him.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know because I never heard this man until this morning. My producer told me about him. But maybe he didn't forgive them. I mean, maybe, because I hear this a lot from people, that when they were kids, they forgave their parents, especially their mother, but the mother never changed. She said, I'm sorry. And you're like, oh, okay, mother. And then she goes and does it again. I hear adults saying the same thing. Well, if I forgive my mama, she doesn't change. You don't need them to change. But I know you don't understand that as a child. I don't know what Daniel's situation is. But you're going to end up just like that if you don't forgive. Now he's been deceived about forgiveness. Do what you want. Amazing. Let's finish those super chats.
Super chats. Sure. We were talking about nepotism with this someone who bought a coffee saying, Jesse, what is your view on nepotism? Your experts can explain it to you.
Yeah.
But this person explains it, I think, quite well in the super chat. Says nepotism is basically people in power at a job showing favoritism by hiring their family or friends. I've heard you say that you are against affirmative action because these people aren't earning their way. So how do you feel about, for example, a father hiring their son as an executive at a family business, even if they don't meet the qualifications for the position?
How I feel about if a father hired his son, I mean, that's family. That's fine. It's like most parents, not all, want to pass their business down to their children in order to keep it going and to provide for them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not like you're accusing somebody of being a racist so that you can get something free without having to earn it. Is that what nepotism is when the daddy passes it down?
Yeah, I think that's closer to nepotism. And the accusing stuff is something else.
Yeah, there's two different things.
I love nepotism.
Right, if that's what it is. Amazing.
Right.
Thank you, though. Very interesting. But it's a totally two different situations.
And we should learn from cultures who use nepotism, but we should keep it Christian when we do it. Kinsley.
Thank you.
With a little post says, "Morning, Jesse. Do you think we'll have an election in November?"
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see. I don't know, but I hope so. and I'm waiting to see. Thank you. Good morning.
Rap like a burrito bought you a coffee. Jesse, are practical thoughts lies?
No.
Okay.
Amazing. Thank you.
Lay that one to rest. We got coffee. This is a Rumble rant from Based Nation. He just sends a little 07 in the chat, which means...
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Salute.
You got to know how to rumble. Thank you.
Ravender bought you 100 coffees.
Amazing.
You got coffees for days. Just be, and as a bee, collect dust from those that have flowered. Spread and collect that dust and spite out the sweetest nectar. Let this bee be used to fuel more works of fruition. A bee never forgets to be. Like a bumblebee. Those who forget are not even equal to a bee. Store and partake in this delicacy. A little poetry from Ravender.
Thank you, Ravender. I appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Gregatron bought you a coffee. Happy New Year's, Jesse. Jesse, it's election year. I don't know about you, but I think the great white hope is coming back. I can feel it in the air. What do you think?
It's in the air. It's everywhere. Ooh.
It's going to be only America first.
Wow, what a nice response to when you ask. Absolutely. Thank you.
Nice.
Amazing.
Amazing. It's amazing. Totally amazing. Mike is right.
Amazing.
Mike is right. Buy you 3 coffees.
Don't be quiet, Trump.
He writes, don't burden yourself with possessions. Keep your needs and wants simple and enjoy what you have. Don't destroy your peace of mind by looking back, worrying about the past. Live in the present. Simplify. This is a quote from Henry David Thoreau. Happy New Year's to JLP and crew.
Right on. Thank you.
Sean, who's Henry David?
Very much. Thank you.
Sean,
Did we do the biblical question?
Oh.
In this second hour? No.
Oh, I guess we didn't.
We did not. Does that mean no, we didn't?
He's waving his hand,
Is
folks.
he saying wait or no?
No, sir. I don't think we did.
Oh, okay. The biblical question. What do you love? Which do you love more? Your true life or your false life? Which do you love more? Your true life or your false life? Thank you. Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Someone bought you a coffee. I was listening to church and you were asking people what thoughts are most difficult to overcome. And most said bad thoughts. And I was thinking good thoughts to me are harder because it's not as easy to spot as a bad thought. And it makes you feel good so often times that you ignore it too. Were you not paying attention? Whereas a bad thought, for example, if you get a thought that tells you to kill someone or yourself, and if you could see it's almost automatic in that you can see that it's not you and that you let it pass and it becomes so easy that these kind of thoughts are almost non-existent. No periods at all in that sentence, so I read it as it was.
Very good
no punctuation,
point,
but I understood.
Very good point. Thank you. Amazing.
And normally I wouldn't care, but in this chair, I suddenly care about grammar. Cash App. We got a couple Cash Apps. The last one's here to finish up. Matthew Etchie, thank you, says for Bond is the best. Jack Bennett says for 2024 to a great start, 4 more years. Adler, Happy New Year, JLP and crew. Justin, for Hake. Oh, we read that one. For Hake to start posting on Wednesday.
Thank you all.
That's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Let me go through. Thank you, Anchor Baby.
No problem.
Amazing. Anchor Baby today at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Let me go quickly to Kevin, our first-time call out of New Mexico. Mexico. Kevin, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. So I have a question about where you developed your style for asking questions. You make people give you a straight-up yes or no answer before they try to confuse people on what they believe.
Oh, that's an interesting question, man. I don't know. It just came from within, I guess. It just happened. To be honest with you, I didn't get it from anywhere. It just happened. It just happened.
Okay. Yeah, and I was going to relate that to the Bible with Matthew chapter 5, verse 37. Let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. Anything more than this comes from the evil one. So,
wow, that's a very good point, man.
I was trying to find a way to link that to my life. When I say yes, should I just say yes? Do I need to explain more? In the verse it says no, but it's kind of hard to do that in daily life because it sounds kind of awkward. Yes, or no.
With practical things, like if you're telling a designer how you want your house designed, built, or whatever, and they need more information, you just can't do a yes or no. But in simple life, then most of the time you can just do yes or no. 99% of the time when people go on, and it's their ego flaring up, and they are speaking from their ego and not from their consciousness. That's why they go on and on with words. You hear it a lot. You hear it a lot from Bible thumpers. They'll go on and on with the Bible, and it's their ego speaking, and they don't realize it. But most of the time, it can be yes or no.
Okay. And then I had a question that I formed while I was listening to the show. So in the show today, you mentioned that you have to have love and no fear because love doesn't have fear.
Right.
So this is what I partly wrote down. How do I not have fear about how others see me when God tells me that I should be diligent? In Proverbs chapter 12, verse 24, the diligent hand will rule, but laziness will lead to forced labor. So if I'm not diligent, how do I not end up just becoming a regular loser?
And what does diligent mean to you when you read that?
Well, so I was going to look up the actual definition, but I'll give you what I think it means.
Okay.
It means to think about what you're doing before you do it. So I think about what I'm going to say. I do my due diligence. I check up on what the information actually is. I know what I'm speaking about before I just start blurting out words.
And you think that that's what God mean about it too? Or that scripture meant?
Let's say yes, because that's how I interpret it.
It's not what it meant at all. Diligent means you are faithfully working on yourself, and that you don't give up no matter what comes along, what happens. You keep your eyes on you. You practice being present at all times. You're committed to that.
So if I'm to be present, what if so right now I'm working at a job that I'm not particularly fond of, but I don't really have a choice. And people are always talking about really immoral shit, right? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
You just use an immoral word. What's the?
Yeah, exactly. But to explain it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm working on not using curse words as much and improving my speech. But how am I to do that if I'm going to be present around them? And that just means being present around immorality.
But their immorality has nothing to do with you. So have no opinion about their immorality. Don't judge them at all. And you just work on you while you're at work. You are your own world. And if you don't make your world their world, you will not be affected at all by what they do or say.
It sounds simple, but I find that quite hard to do in my daily life.
If you didn't judge them, it would be hard. If you had no opinion about them at all, it would be hard to do. Yeah. You're judging them.
And I have noticed that very recently as I've been working my way through the Bible, that I do judge people a lot.
Yeah.
And it comes back to bite me, as you just said a few minutes ago. And how do I work through that? How do I stop judging myself and then judging others off of that?
By doubting every thought about anything except practical thought. By letting them pass and staying present.
So could you give me an example of that?
Let's say that the person next to you working, and they're talking nasty talk, whatever they're doing. And when thoughts come to you about them, just let them pass. they're not from you and they're not from God, let them pass so you don't develop an opinion about other people. And just keep your eyes on yourself by watching those thoughts and letting them pass. And when thoughts come about you, they tell you, oh, listen to how they're speaking. Look at what they're doing. Look at what they're acting. You are better than them. Let that pass too. That's a lie. It's just more judgment that comes from evil. And that way you will lose all opinions about yourself and other people. And you will be able to work and be wherever you got to be because you have become a non-judgmental person.
Now, with that, it kind of comes... so I know you changed the definition I gave to diligence, but I'll use the definition that I gave earlier as an example to show you where I was thinking coming from.
All right.
So if I am thinking about what I'm saying before I speak, how do I not judge others by that? I see them not thinking about what they say before they say it. I'm like, how could they be so careless? You know, that affected me, what they said, but I wouldn't do that to them. Well, if I just ignore the diligence, if I just don't think about what I'm going to say, then I'm going to start saying sinful things and hurting other people's feelings, somewhat how they hurt mine, even though I don't say it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, repeat your question again, buddy.
Yeah. That if I just say whatever comes to my mind, how will I not hurt someone else's feelings on that? And I know it's so weird to say emotions and feelings as a guy, but I'm being real here that it would hurt my feelings when somebody says something bad about me, but I keep it to myself because I'm being diligent. I'm not just saying, oh, well, fuck you, right? Why are you so rude to me?
Right. You are on radio, and we have kids listening.
Okay. Yeah.
So don't use the F you.
Okay.
If you observe the mind and realize you're not your mind, and you're not your thoughts, you're not a part of it, you won't say whatever comes to mind because you will see that those thoughts that are coming to mind are not yours and they're not of love. They're not right. You would not say them. So you stop. When you stop thinking, then you stop all the crap.
Okay.
You should be aware of the mind so that you don't say whatever comes to mind. Because what comes to mind are all lies all the time about anything.
Okay. That's an interesting point. So how is there anything to speak about if everything is a lie?
I rest my case.
Okay.
You're going to find yourself, unless necessary, you're going to find yourself using fewer and fewer words to speak about because you're now not lost in the ego nature trying to get glory from other people by trying to speak right and be right and say these things. You will no longer seek that from the world, so you'll find yourself using fewer and fewer words.
Okay.
Because you're going to notice that once you start to overcome that, you're going to realize that most people are born. They talk about nothing, and they go on and on and on and talking about nothing. It's like when your mama call you, especially those mamas that call every day. They talk about nothing, and they go on and on and on.
Yeah. So, and I do notice that. I have noticed that, but I noticed that kind of in a sinful way because I was judging others. I was noticing. I'm like, all right, man.
That's why your feelings are being hurt.
I don't want to be involved.
That's why your feelings are being hurt because you're judging others and you're doing it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hold for a minute?
Yeah.
Let me take a quick break. We'll come back and finish that and move to other callers. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Number one is we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. And I do it by phone, Skype, or walk-in, the counseling. And if you, for family, individual, if you want counseling, go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 if you want counseling. And also for cameos. And I've been doing a ton of cameos. Shout-outs, right? Personal shout-outs. Birthdays, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, encouragement, congratulations, all kinds of shout-outs. Go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson for all personal shout-outs. And tomorrow, if the Lord is willing, and the creek no ride, but first tonight is the men forum, the first one for this year, at 7 p.m. for men only. And ladies is for the third Thursday night of the month, for ladies only. All right? Tomorrow at 12 noon, a brand new episode of The Fallen State.tv. Brand new episode. I had an interesting conversation with Joseph Cohen. And Joseph is a British Zionist. He's the first, even though I don't quite know what Zionist means yet, he's the first real Zionist I met and he told me he was a Zionist and proud of it. Kind of like, I'm black and I'm proud. He is a British Zionist and founder of the Israeli advocacy movement. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Are you a Zionist?
I am the biggest Zionist you will ever meet. I put Zionism on my cornflakes in the morning.
The Jews control everything. Is that true?
There is no Jewish conspiracy. You're certainly not afraid. Your first question was, did I kill Jesus? The Inquisition, they literally ripped our flesh off our bodies while we were still alive.
If the heart was changed, then there would be no war, period.
Most nerve-wracking podcasts I've been on. And I go against Nazis and jihadis. So.
Oh, amazing. Would you call him base? He's so Zionist, he put Zionist on his serious.
He's definitely based.
He's based. You hate to say it?
No.
All right. Amazing. That's Friday at 12 noon Pacific time. And you can support the Fallen State thereby go to thefallenstate.tv/donate or locals.com. All right. Let me go quickly back and wind up with Kevin, a first-time caller. Kevin, did you have another question, or is that clear now?
That's clear. I just wanted to say one more thing that
yes.
you also mentioned earlier about forgiveness.
Right.
I wanted to mention that I recently did forgive both of my parents, my mom and my father, and my life has completely changed. I've bettered my life in every aspect. I would recommend everyone to do so.
Right on. And are you doing the silent prayer?
Yes, I am.
And stay with
So,
that.
Wait, I'm doing a silent prayer.
8 of them? Or A?
No, a.
Oh.
A silent prayer.
Have you given it?
I'm not sure the one you referred to.
Have you given my silent prayer a chance yet?
I have not. I have not heard it.
Well, go to rebuildingtheman.com/prayer and give it a try.
Okay.
Let me know what you think.
Okay, I will do.
Rebuildingtheman.com/prayer, all right?
All right.
Amazing. Thank you, buddy.
So, take care.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Amazing call. It's Bible Thumping Thursday, 888-77-53773. Is it Armand? Armand out of Indiana been waiting a while. Armand, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding you on the air.
I'm not from Indiana. I'm from India.
Oh, India. My fault. My bad. I didn't really see what I saw. India. Hey, Armand.
Hi, how are you?
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama.
Definitely. I had a question. I called you last time, and I was shaking a lot. And you told me some stuff, and after that call, I did the silent prayer. And all of a sudden, I found out that I had my father's identity in me. I was just like acting like my father whenever he sits, his legs start to shake and stuff like that. And I was doing the same stuff. So I went and forgave him. And after I forgave him, I was completely calm. I was so calm. It was just amazing. And after 5 days, I again started to shake and I started to eat certain type of stuff. And I was doing the silent prayer. And all of a sudden, I just I'm again acting like my father. So I went again and forgiven all of us, and shaking just stopped. My craving for the food that my father stopped. And then it happened the third time, and now again I'm shaking, and I walk like him, and I even talk to others like him, and I'm like, what is going on? Why do I keep having this? How many times do I have to forgive my father for it? That was my question.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, I have forgiven her.
Okay. And when you say you're shaking, who is shaking?
Something inside me is shaking, but it's making me think I'm shaking. But it does physically shake me.
And so why do you call that something inside you?
Just for the conversation, that's why.
I see. Here's what you do. Yeah. And you are doing the silent prayer every morning and night, right?
Yes.
Here's what you do. That thing, that spirit that's shaking in you is not you. You do not need to go back and forgive your father again or any of those things. All you need to do now is just watch the shaking. Be aware of it. Be aware of the thoughts that bring on the feelings that cause you to shake. And if you do that, because that spirit of evil is shaking in you, because the light of God is shining on it right now, on the darkness. And it hates the light, and the light is forcing it is weakening it, weaken, and it's forcing it to leave your body, and it doesn't want to leave. So don't call it you anymore. It's an it. It's not you. That's not you that's shaking. So that you can stop identifying with it. Stop calling it you so you can overcome all identities. It's not you. And eventually it'll be gone.
But the thing is, I don't understand. Right now I don't, but maybe hopefully later. Why am I behaving like walking and folding my legs like my father and talking to others like my father? And
don't worry about that either. Give that no thought. Just notice that is happening, and that false identity will leave you as well.
Oh, okay.
You got to give up now and let the light, the love, the truth fight your battle for you. It will fight all and get rid of all false identities that has made a home in you because you have identified with them all your life. So if you're walking like your father or you're speaking like your father, Just notice that you are. Don't call it good or bad. Just notice it. Just see it. That's all you have to do, and it will change itself. I promise you it'll change by itself.
Okay. I had another question. It was this is important, but like I was doing the silent prayer like 2-3 weeks ago, and I remember you telling me that like the pain is not mine. And before you told me this, I was like shaking my hand. Just for the conversation's sake, I'm saying I was shaking.
Right, I understand.
So yeah, I was shaking a lot, and all of a sudden this voice, I felt pain inside. Like all of a sudden my body would heat up. I would feel pain. And then I heard you after that, like, it's not your pain. And I was doing the silent prayer, and I just remembered it. And as soon as I remember, all of the pain went away.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I started to go back. I was on my chair, and I started to go. It was like something was pulling me. And I felt so strange. My body was shaking, but I was not shaking. I saw my body, my tongue inside my mouth was shaking, my head was shaking, and I saw myself like I react to every single thing in my life, the thoughts, the feelings, the shaking. I saw myself, those tiny, tiny, tiny little things that I reacted, I saw it, and I gave up, and I started to go back. Like, I don't know why, it just felt so strange, like feeling like something is pulling me back. From like I was just sitting, and it was so strange feeling. I didn't feel like it has happened to you or something like that.
Well, whatever is going on inside of you, just watch it. As long as it's not physical problem, you're not sick or anything, and you don't need to see a doctor. But whatever is happening, just watch it. And I'm telling you, it is the spirit of evil that made a home in your mind and body, and it was never you. You didn't know it as a kid, so you identified with it. And so whatever happens, just watch it, let it happen. You're not in control of anything, and you'll be fine.
So if I feel like something is pulling me, I should just let it.
Yes, just relax and watch it. All you need to do is watch and let the light of the Father do his work. It'll be fine. There's nothing you can do but watch. Okay. Because if you put
one more question.
If you put any effort into it at all, then you're trying to fight a spiritual battle and you're trying to fight evil with evil when you put your effort into it. But if you put no effort into it, you're letting go, you're letting God take over, and life will happen for you naturally.
I definitely saw that. Like when I was getting pulled back, I wanted it more and more and more. But as soon as I wanted it more, I started to not get pulled back. I was like, again, like in my physical body and stuff. So it was very strange.
Yes.
But I had one more question I had. Is lying a sin?
Don't call it a sin or not a sin. Just notice it, because sometimes you may have to lie to protect yourself. You never know. And so, but if you like calling it right or wrong, then you may need to lie to protect yourself, and you end up telling the truth and get killed or something, right? But the one thing you don't want to lie to yourself about inwardly. Don't lie to yourself pretending you're God. Don't lie that you're not having this inner conflict. Be honest about that. You are having conflict. You're having doubts and worries and suicidal thoughts, insecurity, whatever it might be, fear. Yeah. Be honest about that to yourself, and you'll be free. You definitely don't want to lie to yourself about that so that you can start to overcome it.
Okay. That was it. That was all my questions. Thank you.
One quick question. Why do you resent your father so much? Or did you resent him?
No, I do not. Like, I am so, out of all my family members, I grew up very, very close to him. Right. I literally like so close to him, but my father and mother both work, and my grandmother stays in the house, so I grew up around my grandmother too, and I saw my father sometimes. Maybe it could be that, I don't know. I saw him with my grandmother's eyes or my mother's eyes.
Yeah.
So I did all, like, I went and forgave them, but still I don't understand why I like behave. But
why do you have a problem walking like him, talking like him, and acting like him? Most kids, I know I am. I'm glad that I walk and sound like my father. Why?
No, I don't want to like I don't have a problem, but I just want to be me. Like, as soon as I started to be you like, I heard you say like when you do the silent prayer, you will find out that you are behaving in a certain manner and stuff like that. So I was like, do I really resent him? That was my main concern. I was not concerned like I'm acting. I have no problem with that.
Oh, okay.
I was just concerned, do I have like hatred inside? That was.
No, you don't. And so don't let the devil deceive you about that ever again. He's deceiving you.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So when those thoughts come again, that you resent your father, let them pass. It's not true.
Oh, okay.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Jesse.
Amazing call, man. Thank you. All the way from India.
Yes.
Thank you, buddy. Call me again.
Okay. Thank you. Take care, Jesse.
All right, you too. Amazing. 888-77-53773. That's a line up. See, I told you the problems are the same everywhere. There's nothing new. Ronnie is out of Ohio. Ronnie, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Uncle Jesse, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Ronnie. All is well.
Good to hear. I was calling to answer your biblical question this week.
Which do you love more, your true life or your false life?
So originally I thought the question was about wisdom. So once I heard the question today for the first time, I had some time to think about it. And tying into your conversation earlier about free will not existing.
Yes.
For me, when I realized it's like, okay, I can either have my life, or I can live for God and give God my life and then be led that way. That works out much better than trying to plan my own life and go by the things that I want to do. There are still some things that I want to do that I do, but for the most part, I know that I had to let that part of me die and give my life to God and then follow that way.
And so your answer to which do you love more, your true life or false life, you're saying you love which one?
I'm saying that I chose to not even have a false life or a true life. I don't have the life that I specifically want to live. That would be free will. But being led by the Spirit, you understand that you really, truly don't have free will. There might be things that you don't want to do. You might have to help somebody you don't want to help. You might have to get up at 5 a.m. and exercise every day. It might be things that you don't want to do that you have to do.
But the question is not about free will. It's that which do you love more, your true life or your false life?
I don't have a true life and a false life. So that's why it's hard for me to answer that question.
Oh, I see. And what kind of life you have? If you don't have a false one or a true one, what do you have?
I would say a life that's led by the Spirit.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Yeah. Definitely not perfect at it, but I get better each day with it.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
Say that again?
Are you doing the silent prayer?
I don't do the silent prayer, but I do sit in silence. So I would say about 15 to 30 minutes in the morning and then sometime in the evening before dinner.
Okay.
Like no devices, sitting outside, listening to the birds, and just watching the thoughts and then being able to sit in that silence until loud neighbors kick in or the phone rings and I can hear it. But yeah, I do try to sit in silence just to make sure that I'm not overwhelmed and consumed by the world.
Amazing.
It'll get you.
Yeah. Ronnie, I appreciate you responding to the biblical question. I totally want to follow up on a personal question, but I'm going to have to wait. And I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good week.
You too, buddy. Very interesting. Bye now. Very interesting. Danielle is a first-time caller out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Danielle, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. Thank you.
Good morning.
So I was actually calling this morning because I woke up to the news about our redistricting here for voting in Georgia, and I was just wondering what your thoughts on all of that was.
They want to redistrict in Georgia. First of all, I didn't know about that, but I do know that desperate people, angry people, people who love power and so-called power and control, people who are lost, they would do whatever they can to try to get power over you or maintain power. So it's all about that, to be honest, money and power.
Yeah, it's really frustrating for people like me. I grew up, in the 80s and 90s. I'm rather young, getting older. And my family, they're from up north. My mom and dad were raised in Detroit. We moved down south when I was young, and I was just raised to love everyone as my neighbor. It just seems like you were talking this morning at the very beginning of the show about the guy that attacked that judge in Nevada.
Yes.
And now you got this judge here in Georgia, Steve C. Jones is his name, the U.S. District Court. Yes, sir, he is. And he says that he ordered the court to update their maps to create a new majority black district.
Amazing.
It's very frustrating because I love all of my neighbors. Everyone who's around me, their skin color does not match mine. And it just seems as though this is Satan constantly digging and picking at a scab in order to just pit us against each other. Am I wrong?
You're 100% right. Absolutely.
So how do we, on an individual basis, stop nonsense like this, Jesse?
By overcoming it. And you have to work on you. You have to overcome anger. You have to overcome thoughts and just live from the kingdom of heaven within. And then you will live in the world, and I promise you, you will not be affected by the world. Those things that are happening, it will totally be happening to someone else and not you.
See, I don't look at it as it's happening to me. I look at it as it's happening to my neighbors, and I think that's why it upsets me.
But it shouldn't upset you about your neighbor. Let your neighbor suffer. Let them go to hell.
I would rather them not, though.
Why?
Because I love them and I want them to be in heaven with me, right?
If you love them, you will let them go to hell.
I don't know if that's a good idea, though.
Can you hold for me, Danielle?
Yes, sir.
Let me take a break. 888-775-3773. The Anchor Baby coming in with the hate news. I'll be back in a moment. One more hour to go. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. Freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
One more little segment of Nick News, maybe even more, but we got some news. State-sanctioned female terrorism. Oh, and the states love it, using their shock troops, the women, against men and really the family. Allegations. Two people that they are facing new allegations. Rapper T.I. and his wife Tiny, also known as Tamika, her real name. Earlier this week, a woman filed a lawsuit accusing the couple of sexual assault. She alleges that she met T.I. and Tiny at a Los Angeles club in 2005, where she claims that they drugged her and then later raped her. Anyways, officials investigated the woman's claims in 2021, but prosecutors didn't file charges because it was past the statute of limitations. Here's the kicker. Since then, California has passed a new law extending the statute of limitations for sexual and assault cases. T.I. and Tiny deny the claims and said they look forward to their day in court. Imagine that, having to come back in court because California extended that statute, which is invariably used for some of these allegations. Who knows what happened there, but more often than not, it's false allegations. And this is what these laws help those things. Anyways, you know who else is mad about state-sanctioned terrorism? At least according to them, an education department official has resigned over Biden's administration's approach to the Israel-Hamas war, CNN reports. A Department of Education political appointee resigned on Wednesday, citing in a letter that the Biden administration's handling of the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza is the reason. Oh, we're really going to miss you, Department of Education. We need a little Javier Milei action, and maybe ixnay all departments. But anyways, the resignation by Tariq Habash. Sorry, I get a little nervous. Maybe I'm judging the name. Policy advisor in the DOE's Office of Planning, Evaluation, and Policy Development comes as the conflict, which erupted with the Hamas October 7 attacks on Israel, near its third month with no sign of abating, and follows a previous public departure from the administration over its handling of the war. It should go without saying that all violence against innocent people is horrific. I mourn each and every loss, Israeli and Palestinian, Habash said in the 2-page letter to Education Secretary Miguel Cardona. But I cannot represent an administration that does not value all human life equally. I cannot stay silent as this administration turns a blind eye to the atrocities committed against innocent Palestinian lives. Asked for comment on Habash's resignation, a Department of Education spokesperson said in a statement, "We wish him the best in his future endeavors." AKA, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Anyways, America continues. It remains atomized as the so-called citizens and people of this country seem to care about somewhere else with allegiances that are not American. Kids. But let's talk about the kids, huh? The kids, they're not all right. The kids continue to be not all right. A deep sickness. Police investigating shooting at Perry High School. Extent of injuries unclear. Police in Perry, Iowa, say there was a shooting today, at the city's high school on students' first day back in classes after their annual winter break. Christmas break, but whatever. A woman who answered the Perry Police Department phone confirmed the shooting at Perry High School, but did not provide any further information. An enormous number of emergency vehicles surrounded the building that houses the town's middle school and high school. Sergeant Alex Dinkla of the Iowa State Police said he didn't yet have information on the shooting, but planned an update for later in the morning. A media staging area was set up. There are a bunch of speculative numbers floating around. We have not confirmed numbers of who was involved yet. KCCI reports a number of parents say students were being turned away when they arrived this morning, and several ambulance and air medics were seen in the area. The kids are not all right. Just wait for them to start talking about everything but the kids and really about guns and whatever other thing. Folks, that's it from me. No more news. Coming back to JLP third hour. Bible Thumb for Thursday. Thank you.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. Good morning for those who are just tuning in. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week is a doozy. The biblical question: which do you love more, your true life or your false life? Which do you love more, your true life or your false life? I really appreciate these the background scenery from these questions that my producer Sean put on there now. That's so cool. Is that Chicago?
Looks like maybe New York City, but it could be Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Chicago to me. What the? And if you're out and about and you're not able to watch the show live right now, you can listen to it while you're doing what you're doing, that you know what you're doing, by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And check it out. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And follow us on social media, ring the bell, do all the good things, like whatever. We are on cozy.tv/JLP Talk, JLP, and JLP Talk on Twitter, better known as X now, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. It's Thursday. It's the last hour of the show on Thursday. It is Bible Thumper Thursday. Bible Thumper.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't feel your faith. Are you ready? Are you
What the? White people acting like the blacks doing all that mess. What the? Anyway, I want to go back to Danielle, not Daniela. Danielle, a first-time call out of Georgia, and she's concerned about the redistricting of her neighborhood there, and also about the blacks because she loves her neighbor, and all this stuff is just creating more problems. Danielle.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for holding. You were mentioning that you don't, about them living in their hell, let them go to hell?
Yeah, you told me that I should let them go to hell, and
right.
I don't know. The idea behind that is very disheartening to me. I don't want anyone to go to hell, just like
Why don't
Father.
you want them to go to hell?
Well, our Father in heaven told us that he wishes that no one would perish, and I, too, feel the same way. I look at a lot of people who, I mean, I'm not going to lie, before Jesus found me broken, I too was under the brainwashing system. You know, this is what the world sets us up and pits us against each other. And I don't know, my true question to you is, like, how do we stop it? And then you tell me that we should just let our neighbors go to hell, and that just doesn't sit well with me because it's not what our Father would want.
But the Father said that I wish that all may be saved, right? May return to him. But if they don't, what does he do?
Well, he chastens us.
What do you mean chase you?
He chastens us. He punishes us and he corrects us and makes it evident to us what we do.
Where'd you get that from?
He chastens those whom he loves.
Where'd you get that from?
That's scripture. I would have to look it up for you, but
did you make that up?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay.
I don't make anything up. If I speak God's word, I usually
Right on. But you think that God punishes you when you don't do what he wants you to do?
No, we punish ourselves is more or less what it is.
How do you punish yourself?
Okay, so when you realign yourself with what the Father wants, and you step out of those bounds, right? You sin, you do something wrong. He puts it on your spirit that you have done something wrong, and you feel remorse for it. Jesus says that the Father chastens those whom he loves, which means he will let you fall off your bike and skin your knee. You know, he's going to let you have this much pain in order that you correct yourself.
No, he let you go right to hell because he's made the way for you not to go to hell. But if you love your hell, he won't do anything. He and his son, they just sit up there and have some cafe mocha, and they'll let you go right to hell.
Okay. The scripture that I was referring to is Hebrews 12, verse 6.
And can you read it for me?
Yes, sir. Which version of the Bible do you read?
I'm sorry?
Which version of the Bible do you read? Does it matter?
What does that mean, which version of the Bible I read?
Because in the NIV it says that the Lord disciplines the ones he loves. So chastens is actually the King James word.
All right.
That's where I got that word from.
Right. I read from the New Jerusalem Bible.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. God's word is God's word. But you said I made it up, but I promise I didn't.
Let me ask. So you feel bad about your neighbor going to hell?
Yes, sir.
And why do you feel bad about it? It's not you. Why do you feel bad about it?
Because they're my neighbors. God told us, Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself.
But if you love them, you would let them go to hell.
But I didn't want to go to hell, so why would I want to let them go to hell?
Because they may want to go to hell. That's why they stay in their hell. They love their hell, and they don't want to come out of their hell. And if someone doesn't want to come out of their hell, why are you bothered by it, period?
I guess only because I'm an emotional female.
And why don't you overcome emotions? Because emotions are evil.
I feel like there's a part of that like God puts these feelings in us too. Yes, or I mean, like, why would I feel that way about them otherwise? Like,
because
I don't. Even if they do me wrong, I don't want them to go to hell. I would rather help them find Jesus so that they don't have to go to hell.
You can't help someone find Jesus. You
That's
can't
what
even
you do.
You can't even find him of yourself.
No, that's true. He has to find us.
And so how you going to help someone find Jesus?
I guess you can't. And especially when we're talking about these politics, it's just a system that they've set up in order that we do this, isn't it?
Yeah. The last thing a politician wants is Jesus.
That's true.
And so
it just makes me upset, honestly, Jesse, because I look at Detroit and, it's a place that we called home once upon a time. And now I'm looking at Atlanta, and, you know, we've been here for a while now, and it just seems every year that passes, there's more crime, there's less love, there's, I don't know, it's just unsafe in general for everyone.
Why do you think the blacks screw up everything that's good?
It's like you said, like, it's like a spoiled kid. And it's not just them, because, I mean, my family is just like a lot of the people that you talk about, you know, as blacks. But the truth of the matter is it's just the superficial thing. Our skin color is superficial, and they're dividing us up by something that matters not. God loves variety, and it's very apparent when you look at his creation. He's made hundreds of types of grass, different colored grass, different textured grass, different trees.
Why do you think the blacks screw up everything? Not all, but most. Because you're right about Atlanta. I grew up down in Alabama there, and I used to go up to Atlanta sometime for the summer, and it was so beautiful. I at one time thought that I was going to live in Atlanta, but I came to L.A. and I fell in love with L.A. And at the time, Atlanta was ran by white people, and it was amazing. Why do you think that black people, everything they touch, turn to dust?
I'm not sure that it's just them, because when it comes down to it, you have a lot of people who are white or Asian or Hispanic who also want to pass these laws. And it's a bunch of coddling, really, like you've said in the past. Like, it's all about, you know, you got spoiled kids and they just want to be more and more spoiled. I don't want to pin it on one community.
But why do you think that the blacks, everything they touch, turn to dust? They've taken a beautiful city like Atlanta and turned it to dust. They have taken a beautiful city like Detroit used to be at one time and turned it to dust. I even have black friends that I grew up with moved back to Alabama from Detroit because it turned to dust. And they said the blacks did it. Why do you think blacks, not all but most, everything they touch turned to dust?
They were brainwashed into this system. That's the only explanation that I have. Like, my dad grew up in Detroit, and I remember what Detroit was through his memories. Like, Motor City, Motown. Everybody wanted to go to Detroit and live the high life. Like, that's
I remember
everybody
that.
In Detroit.
So
and
would you
Atlanta
want that kind? Would you want that kind of neighbor in heaven with you?
The one, like, currently, no.
So then,
honestly,
why are you feeling bad for them then?
Well, that's someone's soul. That's really why.
But why are you feeling bad for an evil soul?
Because I was once brainwashed too. It's a difficult thing for me to grasp, I guess.
Yeah. Have you forgiven your mother?
No.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, sir. I mean, I have in my heart, but I've never, like, said it to her or my father.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
How are you going to ever enter into the kingdom of heaven if you don't go and forgive them?
It's a difficult thing to sit down in front of somebody and say, you've wronged me.
Why?
So
if you love them, you would.
I've secretly, in my heart, between me and Jesus, forgiven them, because they're just like me.
You took a cowardly way out and you called it forgiveness. That's why you feeling bad for the neighbor. You want a neighbor in heaven with you. You're feeling that because you're still in hell and you're calling it heaven. You're still emotional. Satan is your God, not God himself.
No, I hate Satan and everything he stands for.
Right, and that's your problem. You have hate. And you're living out. You're worshiping the devil because you have hate. You have his nature. And that's why you haven't gone and forgiven your mother or your father. That's why you have all this fake emotional, which is all ego, for your neighbor. You're afraid of what's happening in the world because you're still in the world and of it. Your heart has not changed.
I mean, I'm in the world.
And of it.
Because I care about my neighbor?
Because you're being affected by the world, your neighbor.
You and my husband are very similar.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you obey your husband?
Yes, sir.
You obey your husband?
Yes, sir.
So how is it possible to obey your husband but not God?
I don't see how I'm not obeying God.
He said before you enter into the kingdom, you must go and forgive. To honor your parents. You're not even honoring your parents because you won't go and forgive them.
Do I have to do it face to face? I mean, I've said to Jesus that I forgive them because they didn't know what they were doing.
And Jesus like, okay, whatever.
Is that not how it works?
Did Jesus tell you to go to him or to go to the one that you resent? You're doing everything backward, trying to avoid your parents.
I've actually done everything I could to avoid them my whole life, actually.
Right, because you have hatred in your heart. And you're never going to love anyone until you can love your parents.
All right.
All right, what?
I do love them.
If you love them, you will forgive them. You don't love them. You hate them. That's why you avoid them. That's why you were afraid to go to them, because you hate them. And you call it hate love.
But that would hurt them, and that's why I don't want to bring it up.
That's not going to hurt them at all.
To bring up the things that they've done to me that hurt me that they have no idea about, I think it would.
But why? If they were ready to say, you know what, daughter, you're right, it wouldn't bother them at all to hear that. But if they're not ready, then they may be hurt. But it's not them that's being hurt; it's their ego, which is the nature of the devil, and that is on them, and it has nothing to do with you. Because you are going there to say, I'm sorry for judging you. I realize you couldn't help yourself. And that's what love is.
So you mean, so this is why I guess I am stuck in that spot. Because in my mind, I always thought as long as I tell Jesus that I forgive them in my heart, that it's over with.
But have you noticed it has not been over with? You've been saying that to Jesus for a while.
Yeah, for a long time, actually.
And it has not worked. Why haven't you questioned that?
I was just saying, like, because Jesus said that he casts our sins as far as the east is from the west, right? So he lets us remember our sins in order that we don't do them again.
That's not true.
I just assumed that that's where, you know, the uncomfortable feelings come from.
Well, you assume wrong. And you're listening, you're worshiping the devil, and you're having conversation with the devil and calling him Jesus.
No way.
Yes, you are. That's why nothing's changing.
No, my whole life has changed since I found Jesus.
No, your whole life have not changed. Not
There's
at all.
There's a small part of me that's still that emotional female. So.
Right. So your whole life has not changed, and your whole life is not going to change until you go and forgive your parents.
Physically, face to face.
Either on, you can FaceTime with them, but if it's possible to be looking at them so you can get your courage back, especially with your mama, it's the best thing to do.
All right. I'm going to take you up on it, and I'll call you back and let you know how I feel about my neighbor after it then.
And don't just take me up on it. You need to see that you need to go and forgive, because just taking me up on it is not going to work. You need to see that, yes, I have this anger. I am wrong for judging them, because that's what anger is. And when you go and apologize for judging them, then God will forgive you. You'll stop playing God, and then God will become your God.
All right.
But all this time you've been communicating with the devil and calling him Jesus.
No, I would rather say that I really wouldn't want to say that. Can I answer the question
why
about
not?
the
This is true.
You know, you just stutter me because I can't argue with the truth. The truth is the truth.
Right. So you've been worshiping the devil and calling him Jesus.
That's painful. Got to go back to the Father. Thanks, Jesse. About the true life and false life question.
Oh, yeah. Which do you love more, your true life or your false life?
My true life, because I got rid of my false life 8 years ago when I got off of social media.
Amazing.
Thanks so much, Jesse.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
I started listening to it the other day, and I stopped because the clearing your mind thing bothers me a little bit. It's a little bit Eastern mysticism. I just want to focus on Jesus. But, you know, honestly, after all of this conversation, that was really painful, you telling me that I've been worshiping the worldly Jesus.
No, you've been worshiping the devil.
Yeah. That part of it is pretty painful because I know the change after Jesus found me 10 years ago. And it's...
But you have not changed, though. That's the deception that you have, is that you have changed, and you have not. You still have fear. You're still emotional. You have false love for your neighbor. You even want your enemy in heaven with you. You have ego love, and you're calling it real love, and it's not.
Thank you for helping me to self-reflect this morning, Jesse.
You're welcome. I wish you well with this, with that, Danielle. Let me know how it goes.
Yes, sir. You have a blessed day. Thank you.
All right. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Is it Lori? Lori, a first-time caller out of Missouri. Lori, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Lori. How are you?
Oh, I don't know. Fine. I'm just getting teary for some reason to talk to you.
Cry,
anyway.
cry, baby.
Cry, baby.
Oh, you know that song, huh?
Oh, of course.
Right on.
That lady. Okay, I lived kind of a life of hell because I had hell in me, but honestly, I didn't really get it at all because it took the form of guilt. I was always feeling guilty about everything, but probably not even the stuff I should have been feeling guilty about. Anyway, so then my dad became 98, and I was sitting with him. And he was a big, my life scary guy, but funny, hilarious, really, really funny, really humorous, witty. And so I was sitting with him, and out of the blue I says, I never listened to you before at that time, and I says, Dad, I forgive you. And he didn't say a word. He didn't say a word. But I reflected on that a lot of times, and it wasn't until I heard your show that, I kind of understood it. I always thought, here I am talking to my dad, World War II vet, raised 7 kids, came up in poverty himself. I mean, real poverty. And I'm telling him I forgive him. I thought, man, isn't that rather haughty of me?
Amazing.
Yeah. So, any old who, I guess, I just wondered if you thought it was right and good to have, I guess you do, because you call him the Great White Hope, but do you think it's good to have hope every day?
Who is Hope?
Just hope in your heart, hope.
And what are you hoping for?
Well, honestly, I'm totally hoping that...
Are you outside or something?
No.
What's that noise? I'm hoping you get a better phone.
Here, I'll make it better now. Ready?
All right.
Okay, is this better?
Yes.
Is this better?
Right.
Okay.
What? See, my hope came. I got my hope.
Oh. No, well, my hope is I'm watching this whole world, as we all are, and, we all are pinning our hopes on Donald Trump. Honestly, I think we all are, as far as taking care of business. And I just wonder what you thought of that. What do you think of having hope?
Let it go.
Okay.
You don't want to have any form of identity at all. You just want to live without anything. Even with the Great White Hope, my hope is not in him at all. I just believe, as he did before, that he would do a better job for my country, as for making sure the military is strong, bringing back jobs, all these things that restricts Americans from moving about and being physically free in their own world, right, country. But my hope is not in Donald Trump at all. I just want to hire him to work for me and to be a good employee.
Okay, I'm with you. And the question about the real life or the false life?
But let me ask you about the hope. Let the hope go. Have you forgiven your mother?
Oh, yes. The thing is that she died after my dad. My dad, well, they had their own home, and then he moved into like a senior living right across from her. She had to go to the nursing home.
And so you forgave her before she died?
Well, yes, but she had the dementia, so it wasn't like I said it to her, but yes. And I painted her picture. I painted 3 portraits of her, really understanding her, really seeing her face. I painted her when she was young. I don't know what happened to her, how it all happens to all of us. Yeah. And it was sweet to paint her that way, and get to know her spirit again.
Why are you so emotional?
Because I'm talking to you and I'm talking about things. Here's what happened.
You don't want to know her spirit anymore. Her spirit is evil. You need to let that go.
That's true.
So why you want to remember her evil spirit? What's up?
No, I wanted to remember her good spirit.
She didn't have one.
She was hurt. Before she was all hurt, tangled up.
When you met your mama, she was evil.
Pretty much.
So
she was nice. She was nice when I was young, but she turned into insanity when we got older. But her mother was insane.
But even in her niceness, she was insane.
Yeah.
Hold on, Lord. True. Lord, have mercy. Hold on. Hold on. Let me take a break. Back in a moment. Check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. the spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone. And you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. Welcome back. I have this amazing story that looked like I might not get to today, but I will tomorrow. The Lord is willing. And the creek don't rise. And I've been trying to get to it for a while. And it fits right in with Bible Thumper Thursday, so I was hoping to get to it about the 12-step program. But we'll get to it. I will get to it. Announcements. Hake is out again today. So Joel Friday TV is sitting in for, along with Sean, my producer, for the first time. Sean is guest hosting. Amazing. I wonder what that's leading to. But Joel Friday TV and my producer Sean is sitting in for Hake from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time today. And then at 11 a.m., Joel doing his show. Joel now is Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to noon. Monday through Thursday, Joel Friday TV. You black. And then the American Anchor Baby. He's on fire. He's at 12 noon. He's running around doing a lot this morning, too. He's doing the hate news, getting the super chats ready to read, and making stuff for the show, all kind of stuff. He's on fire at 12 noon today. Tonight is the men's forum at 7 p.m., the first one for this year. Every first Thursday night for men only, and the third Thursday night for ladies only. We went out with a bang on the ladies' forum in December last year. It was amazing. So, and then Sunday morning for everybody and their mama, all right? To donate to Bond and help our cause, what we're doing to help others, go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. And if we put out a end-of-the-year newsletter in December. It's an amazing newsletter. And it's free if you like a hard copy of it. Go to rebuildingtheman.com and give us your mailing address, P.O. Box, or wherever you want to go to. Or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. And you can make a donation in both of those areas as well, both of the places. Let me go quickly back to Lori a first-time caller out of Missouri. And Lori, you wanted to respond to the biblical question, which do you love more, your true life or your false life?
My true life, I guess.
What?
Well,
what?
It's all. Somehow life has left me, I don't know what happened, but I'm alone, and I can't say I hate that or anything, but I wonder about it, and because I had people, and I'm just alone, and I guess that's my true life because it's left me to be, just to be, not to say, not to.
How do you
anything.
feel being alone?
Just fine, I guess.
Are you
fine in a way.
Are you married?
No,
You have children?
I do, but they don't. I never hear about them. Nothing.
They don't like you?
No.
My mama don't like you. She likes everyone. And if you think...
My mama don't like me. No. My children don't like me.
Here's what I recommend, Laura, because I got to run.
Yeah. Sure.
I want you to encourage you to start doing the silent prayer.
I have been a little bit.
Do it.
You know, like I do it throughout the day. I think I know what it is. It's just like listening to your thoughts, right? That's all you do?
No, that's not it at all.
Well, you monitor, you just watch them go by?
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Just watch them go by.
Right. Start doing that
And
every
then-
morning, every night. And so that, because what you don't realize is that you have always been alone. Every human being in the world is alone. Even those human beings who have 1,000 people around them every day, they're still alone. They don't like one another at all. They're just trying to find a false comfort.
There's some truth in that, I tell you. I know it's true.
Yeah, they don't like each other at all.
Dear.
They're using one another like drugs to try to make themselves feel comfortable. And it doesn't work.
True.
Yeah. So it's okay to be alone. You're not alone. I'm here with you. So
I appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. Start doing the silent prayer morning and night so you can watch those thoughts and a miracle will happen.
No, yeah, it's already been pretty good. Like I think I've matured since I started doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm not a regiment type person, so I do it at whim, or I just do it in the car or when I'm painting, something like that.
Right on. Well, try to wake up in the morning and do it before you start your day, and then the last time at night. And then during the day, you're doing the right thing by that. It's become aware, be present. And I'm telling you, it will blow your mind, all right?
All right, dear. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Laura. Happy New Year to you.
Yes, indeed, and you too.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. There's a line open, 888-7753-773. Jeff is out of Arizona. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
You're on the air.
All right. Hey, Jesse, thank you for accepting my call.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a question about the Hebrew Israelite. Okay?
Okay.
So they say that first of all, do they have the stone of scone is my first question. My second question is, do they speak Aramaic or Hebrew or the dialect of that day?
Other than knowing that those people are insane, I know nothing about all that at all.
Okay, you know the stone of scone, Jacob's ladder, when he had the vision with God, and
I don't know nothing about no stone or cone.
Well, that's where the kings and whatnot are, like in England and whatnot.
But you know what, Jeff? I wouldn't give that stuff 2 minutes of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because those people, they hate God, they hate good, they hate the Jews, and they're trying to pretend that they are something they're not.
Okay.
So I wouldn't give that any thought.
Okay. I have another question with regards to the creation of people. And God finished making everything on the sixth day, and He rested, right?
Right. So the Bible said.
Yeah. And so on the sixth day, He created both man and woman, right?
Right.
So on the eighth day is the eighth day man, right?
What?
On the eighth day, He created an eighth day man called Es Ha'adam.
I had no idea. You asked the wrong person about all this kind of stuff.
No. It's all biblical.
Oh.
You're a pastor.
So He created Hadam?
Yeah, Es Ha'adam, Adam and Eve.
And was Hadam related to Saddam?
No, it's the man. It's called the man through which Jesus Christ would come.
And He did that on the eighth day?
On the eighth day, He created the farmer.
Okay. And what does this have to do with anything?
Well, it doesn't, I don't know. Well, it kind of does have to go through, like, with black Hebrew Israelites or whatever.
Why are you paying attention to those people? They're crazy.
Yeah, no, this is just a question that I'm bringing up.
Oh, okay.
Just add to the show.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. So is that so? I know you talk a lot about forgiving your mother, and the evil comes through the woman. Now, since Eve was created through from the rib of Adam, and not the physical rib, but the DNA rib, the helix curve. So does all the sin come through Eve or through the sixth day woman?
Who is the sixth day woman?
Well, when God created both man and woman on the sixth day.
What does that mean, the sixth day woman?
No,
it's like her birthday was on the 6th of January?
No, the sixth day creation.
And where are you getting all this from?
It's in the Bible. It's in Genesis.
And it's talking about the sixth day?
Yeah, it talks about on the sixth day, God created everything, and it was great. Now, on the eighth day, He created Adam and Eve, through which Noah, Abraham, all the descendants of Abraham.
Hey, because of time, due to the lack of time, I want you to call me back tomorrow on this guy. I got to take a joint. I didn't smoke on this one.
Come on, man.
I know somebody now. Their career is selling pot. Let me give them a call.
No, I don't smoke pot. If that's what you're saying.
No, not you. I said I'm gonna have to take a joint on this one.
But yeah. I mean, does any of this sound familiar to you? I mean, I guess obviously not. But.
Not at all.
Yeah, because
that sounds like that Hebrew mess.
Yeah, no. It's biblical. It really is biblical.
Okay. All right. But let me run, though. We'll pick up on. Can you call me tomorrow?
Absolutely, man.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
All right, later.
Okay. Oh, but you said 888. Nick is coming. We got to do the super chats and everything. And I'm going to get to many calls here while Nick is on his way. Tony out of California. Hey, Tony. Welcome to the show.
How you doing today, Jesse?
All is well, Tony. Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you, partner. 2024 is here.
That's right,
now,
partner.
My question is, the thing is, you talk about the women bringing evil and serving the evil, the devil. But my question to you is this. God brought Adam in, and then He gave Adam commandments. And then for one other reason or another, Adam went against God's will and followed and was persuaded by Eve to do against God's will. But the thing is, God used a woman to bring Jesus into this world that's supposed to be perfect. So the thing, I'm confused right there. If he used a woman to bring a perfect human being upon this earth, why are you saying that God brought the woman and she served the devil only? But man don't serve the devil. But the man went against God's will.
I don't understand your question, Tony. Make it a little simpler.
Well, the thing is, you always saying the woman is evil and the man is good. But the thing is,
when did you hear me say the man was good?
Because you said that you're supposed to serve the Father.
When did I say the man was good? You
said that the children are supposed to serve the Father.
When did I say the man was good?
That's in your interpretation. You saying that we're supposed to follow our fathers and daddies and leave the mother alone.
When did I say that the man was good?
Okay, that's your way. That's your defense. I mean,
no, you said I said something I didn't say. I'm asking you, when did I say that? I never said that. Let me
rephrase it. You said that the children are supposed to serve their father, be with their father.
They're supposed to love their father. All human beings must return to the Father if they want to be free.
Okay, return to what father? God or the daddy?
Their daddy.
I mean, your words is trickery.
Your daddy.
So your daddy, but your daddy is imperfect.
What?
Your daddy is not perfect. Your daddy is just as bad as the mother.
And what does that have to do with you loving your father? What does it have to do with you?
You're supposed to love both of your parents.
Right. That's why I said forgive them. You're not going to love them until you forgive them.
But the thing is, Jess, that you always say it's the mother's fault because of the way a child is.
I never said it's her fault. It's not her fault. It's the hell. It's the hell that come through her.
Come through her?
Yeah.
So the thing is, we all came through her.
Right. That's why we all must return to the Father because we were born of the woman.
The father is just as bad as the woman, man. Come on, now keep it real, Jesse.
That's why we must return to the Father because we were born through the woman.
Once again, that's all trickery. All that talk you talking is trickery.
What does that mean?
We supposed to return to what father? What father we supposed to return to? God?
Your earthly father.
No, for what? For what? We are grown adults. We're supposed to have our own minds by the time we get 20, 21.
Who told you that?
So what we got to return to our father?
Where you get that from? You're supposed to have your own mind by the time you're 21.
You do. You're supposed to be out on your own, so you got to have your own mind to take care of your own self.
How is that?
Just keep it 100.
How is that? You don't know.
He sounds like that guy who didn't want to forgive that video we played earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You're an adult. You don't need that.
I mean, you're an adult. You're supposed to be able to take care of yourself and think for yourself. You ain't got to rely on your parents or forgive your parents. Your parents did their job. Now it's on you.
So was God lying when he said forgive them?
What did he say in your Bible or any Bible, forgive your parents?
Was God lying when he said forgive them?
Once again, show me in the Bible that it said forgive who? Not your parents. Whoever wronged you. Whoever wronged you, you're supposed to forgive.
Was God lying when he said forgive your parents, honor your parents?
Jeffrey, come on. I'm not falling for your trickery, bro. I'm not falling for that.
Was God lying?
Can we talk straight and keep it real?
I'm asking you.
Keep it real, Jeffrey.
Was God lying when he said forgive them?
Who is them?
Your parents. Your parents. Not who is them. Who are them?
I didn't see. I never seen that. I never seen that. They would say, never said them. Forgive those who wrong you.
And did your parents wrong you?
No, they didn't. They raised me.
Your parents didn't do it?
They helped raise me and taught me right from wrong.
And they didn't do it?
It's up to me.
Ain't no such thing as teaching somebody right from wrong. Tony.
Yes.
I appreciate your call, man. I'm running out of time here. I want to get to this.
I understand.
Will you call me back tomorrow? Will you call me tomorrow?
I'll try.
All right,
I'll try, my brother.
All right.
All right. Have a good day, brother.
You too. I'm his brother.
Of course.
By a different mother.
No. By the laws of Pan-Africanism.
Super chat.
Super chat. We got supers here, and I got him right here. I swear I have him right here, and I'm clicking on him. James, what do I do when it doesn't work?
Let me know who you get ready. I'm going to go quickly to Brent.
Sorry.
Let me know who you're ready. Let me know. I'll come back to you. Hey, Brent, thank you for holding you on the air.
No problem, Jesse.
Yes,
so, I like your flat Earth globe there.
Oh, thank you.
I guess it's not a globe.
That belongs
and I like
to
your black Jesus.
That belongs to Hake.
So, yes.
But not the
so,
black Jesus, but the flat Earth.
Yeah, I got you. You know, I've called before and talked about the Old Testament. And, I really like what you said in that program, too. You said the Old Testament is alive and well in my country.
It is.
Because
it's a mess.
the churches teach the Old Testament a lot. So I just wanted to point for the Bible thumpers, Galatians chapter 3, verse 10. I'm reading it from the Tyndale New Living Translation. So verses 8 talks about Abraham, how he had faith. He actually didn't have the Bible, right? Because the Bible, the first 6 books of the Bible were written by Moses, and Abraham, Isaac, Jacob predate Moses. But okay, so here Galatians chapter 3, verse 10. But those who depend on the law to make them right with God are under his curse. For the scriptures say, cursed is everyone who does not observe and obey all the commandments that are written in God's book of the law. So it is clear that no one can be made right with God by trying to keep the law. Right?
That's amazing.
But then verse 13 says, but Christ rescued us from the curse pronounced by the law. So just it's always so interesting to me that these Bible thumpers, they will bring up the Old Testament, but the Old Testament was filled with the law, which made people aware of sin, and then they're like, okay, well, how are we going to handle this sin? They judged each other, they condemned each other to death. Then Jesus came, the New Testament, said, oh, man, that is all completely wrong. You need to forgive. So that's why I really like the message that you say, Jesse.
Brent,
what are your thoughts on that?
That is a deep, very deep point. You make a really amazing point with that. No, they were not able to keep the law. That's why they had to come and change and recreate the spirit instead of the law. That is amazing, Brent. Thank you, man.
Yeah. So the Bible thumpers, whenever they go back to the Old Testament, it's like, man, you got to let that go.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Jesus. Yep. Forgive your father and your mother. Forgive your neighbors. They don't know any better.
Yeah.
Just like you didn't know any better and were behaving and acting the exact same way.
That's
until you really understood. Yeah, love.
Amazing.
And then,
thank you, man. I'm going to have to run because...
One last thought. Okay, one last thought, Jesse.
Yes.
1 John 4, verse 8, those that do not know love do not know God, for God is love.
Absolutely. Amazing, Brett. Okay. Amazing call,
Thanks
man.
for taking my call.
Really, thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye now.
Bye.
My friend texted me, and he said, stop singing. You are burning my ears.
You're not the first one to say that, bro. You're not going to change them.
And you know my response to him?
Tell him.
I rebuke that person.
I know. My response to him, you know what it was? Your mama. With a big laughing face.
Other party poopers have tried.
I know. It ain't gonna You
work.
just like your mama. Your mama.
Shall we rock
Super
these?
chat, yeah.
Super chats. Let's rock it. Okay, coffee.
Super chats.
Thank you. Haynes O'Callahan with the 5 coffees says, Happy New Year, JLP, and late Merry Christmas. Get well soon, Hake. You're doing well, Nick. Little thumbs up. Smiley face says, wishing you all well.
Right on. We wish you well as well. Happy New Year to you, and I hope you had an amazing Christmas. Thank you.
Sonny bought you a coffee. Now that they've kicked out the black lesbian from Harvard, 6 out of the 8 Ivy League schools now have Jewish presidents. What the?
Oh, amazing. She wasn't a lesbian. Her name was just gay. Doesn't mean she was gay. What the?
We got Mike Merge with the Rumble Rant says, hope you a hootenanny of a new year. Kid Combo with the
same to you.
Yeah. Kid Combo with the diamond says, if a woman has 3 baby daddies, what's she doing wrong? She's doing something wrong.
She having too many daddies.
Misty with the diamond says, Jappy wants to know how to not like men's no mo.
By not hating.
And last one, Green Wall says, Zionists believe in a Jewish homeland. Now you know.
Nice. I
Last
love
one.
Israel.
Sion says, what in the black Jesus? Hi, Jesse. Nick Speedy came home with the illegal alien disease. Now Hank's sick.
What the?
That's everything, folks.
Amazing. Thank you, Sion. Mighty one. Thank you all. Put up. Look, folks, get on that straight and narrow path and stay there. Just stay there. Do the silent prayer. Go and forgive your mother and your father. God will forgive you. The light will come on, and the darkness will get scared and become afraid. All right? And life will become amazing. The Hake Report is coming up now with Joel Friday TV and my producer Sean hosting the Hake Report today from 9 to 11. And after that, Joel Friday by himself. And then the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. I'll see you tonight at Miss Forum if the Lord is willing and the creeks don't rise. To Corey out of Michigan and the rest of the callers that are dropping. Tomorrow is Open Line Friday. You can call me then. Hopefully you have a chance. We'll get to your calls at that time. Have an amazing day, folks. Thank you all. Take care.
Check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. We got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understanding the move? You better go talk to your mama. Better stop all the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up, man up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. You must know thyself so you get something went wrong, but
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Like my cousin, sent me you, and I thank him for that. It was more of a, he thinks the whole everything's a joke. That just adds a little spice to it. But in the heart of what you're saying, there is real things going on. And people want to overlook that. And I'm telling you, Mr. Peterson, I'm not one of those people. And I thank God that He showed you to me, and sometimes we just need some Jesse in our lives, I guess.
I wish we had more brothers like you. We need more brothers like you. This because we don't have most guys that can, lead black people into the right direction. And I thank you for that, because a lot of people will be like, man, it's still going on. It's racism. Yeah. And I try to tell them, watch his show. Listen to this brother. He's telling the truth.
Take no thought about tomorrow. Yesterday doesn't exist. And you're going to see, man, God is with us and all is well.
Test.